I really wonder how they decide on which controversy to address because there's so many. This particular game is absolutely mired in controversies. From the way that they did the female character, which is completely different than the motion capture actress. Like, again, the Manjaw Californian industrial complex seems to be added again. A lot of people are legitimately upset and they're wondering, it's like, why do you not just make her properly? I mean, Grooms even talked about it. And then you have developers going, well, actually, you see, we don't have the technology. It just doesn't exist yet. People in South Korea, they can do it with Stellar Blade because they're much more advanced than us, but we just lost the way. We're like the Imperium of mankind living the Dark Ages. We used to know how to do it in Mass Effect, but now we just lost the technology. We just cannot make accurate female representation in video games anymore. But that's just one of the controversies, right? They have a racist, sexist community manager. I showed a couple of tweets from that person. But I imagine that person sleeping at night in her bed and going like, the white man. Oh, no, the cisgender white man. Oh, like she's like that. She literally sees white men everywhere. Doesn't really like the gamer that much. What else do we got? Oh, the pricing of the game as well. Apparently it goes all the way up to $120. But hey, you know, if you buy the deluxe edition, you can beta test the game for 3 days in advance, if it's working. So many controversies. I think they even used a Nuvo. It's a single-player game, but it's got a season pass. It's a single-player game, but you need an online connection. Again, like, where do you even begin with the controversies? Like, if you're the PR person that works at Ubisoft, and you have, like, all these controversies on your table, how do you decide which one to pick? But they did decide. They even chose the worst one, right? So the game is very exclusive. It's a rich boys club. Like, you really need to be rich in order to afford this $70 game, which is just like the standard price, right? Like, this is for the peasantry. The nobility has to cough up around $130, assuming you don't want to buy some DLC, right? So, incredibly expensive game. And what people notice is that if you're poor, then you don't get access to a mission. And that particular mission is quite an enticing one as well, because it's with Jabba's the Hutt, and the mission is called Jabba's Gambit. So in a video game, which is Star Wars Outlaws, they're gating one of the most interesting characters when it comes to the criminal underworld of Star Wars, right? Jabba the Hutt. So, the thing that I find absolutely funny is that a lot of people, again, they're complaining. It's like, hey, you know, like, do I need to pay like $30 for the mission? And Ubisoft comes out and it's like, well, you know, like, the mission is not really a big deal. And the reason I'm laughing is because I can imagine a person that actually spent the money, you know, that actually spent the $40 on this mission, and now you have the developers go, well, actually, you know, the mission is kind of shit anyway. I mean, it's the amount of money that you would spend for a AA game, right? Like, how much is Helldivers? It's quite an investment. Again, I understand that these community managers and many of these developers are quite disconnected from the reality, which is the market, and they don't know that, well, we do live in difficult times right now. Not everyone is as wealthy as they are. So a lot of people are actually struggling, right? And to make the decision to give an extra $20 or $30 for the game, depending on which version you're buying, like if it's the deluxe or the gold edition or whatever they're calling it. But to give like an extra $40, that's quite an investment. And here you have Ubisoft coming up and saying, look, don't worry about it. The mission is shit anyway. You know, a lot of people keep asking me, why do I care so much about the aesthetics? And it's simple. If you actually got the waifu, I mean, this is literally the game where you can put the waifu in it, right? Make her have some big fat tits and plump ass, and then sell toys with her. You don't have to do these shady business practices where you're gating the mission behind a $40 paywall, where you're baiting people, hey, you know, you can play our game 3 days in advance if you pay a little bit extra. Well, actually, not a little bit extra. If you pay the price of a AA game, you can play our game 3 days in advance. What? Why are you doing this? Just make an attractive female character and then sell merch of her. Because like right now, no one would buy merch, and they know it. They know it because they're not making merch of this stuff. No one is interested in buying something so ugly, right? I swear to God, like Stellar Blade, I played the demo. I immediately canceled my pre-order. As soon as I played the demo, I canceled my pre-order. I ordered the deluxe edition instead. And I'm probably going to order a figurine of it as well. Because again, like, that's how you reward the developers. That's how you reward hard work. And you also get something in exchange. The fact that you get to play the game 3 days early is one of the most cancerous business practices that we are witnessing in the industry right now. Like banking on the impulse that some gamers have so they can cough up an additional $40. And obviously you're going to even forget about that particular experience. Like, no one that pays for the deluxe edition is going to sit there and is going to remember, oh my god, it's so good that I got the 3 days in advance stuff. The worst thing is when they're doing it to competitive games. Like when they do it to Diablo, or heaven forbid if they do it to World of Warcraft or something like that. Because then you feel pressured to play early because you don't want other people to have advantage in front of you. I would say that even to a fighting game, that would be awful because you don't want other people to learn the combos and to learn how to play the game, and that when you actually go in, if you're a competitive person, you're going to struggle. So they're banking on all of this stuff. It's such predatory business practices, you know? I remember when people started criticizing phone games in the beginning, and one of the reasons that they were criticizing phone games is that all of them had these predatory business practices. Like, the game was just there in order to milk you of money. But now AAA is becoming literally that, which is why I'm actually reviewing mobile games again, because like some of the mobile games are actually free to play and are worth it, and they're giving you much more of an enjoyment, and they're not as predatory. I know it sounds ridiculous, but they're not as predatory as what AAA is becoming. They're definitely going to the point where they're trying to milk you of every single dollar, every last cent, every last penny that you have. They want to take it away from you. No, seriously, like AAA gaming companies, they want your well-being, so it's your job to make sure they don't take it away from you. But yeah, all in all, this wasn't a very well-received PR message. I notice everyone at the AAA companies is incompetent now. Like, even the PR people are incompetent. Like, I could have told them, hey, just ignore this and it will go away. Like, if you want to address it differently, but definitely not like this. I would have said, okay, well, that mission was outside of our budget and we wanted to do a little bit extra, but it was kind of costly to make, so that's why the price is there. You know, you come up with some bullshit like that, and you're going to get a much better response than, well, that mission isn't that notable anyway. Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.